The Bridge of the Footsteps. In a peaceful valley surrounded by high mountains and sparkling green forests, there lived a small village where a boy named Amir lived. The village was quiet and beautiful, with streams that sparkled like silver in the sun and trees that danced lightly in the wind. Amir was a very gentle and kind boy. Every day he explored the surroundings of the village, always wondering what new things the world could show him. On the other side of the valley stood a high mountain. At its peak was a place that the villagers called the Golden Meadow. Many people dreamed of reaching it, but failed due to the difficult path. A broken wooden bridge ran between the village and the mountain along a deep river. Long ago, this bridge had helped travelers cross safely, but storms and time had damaged it. The wooden planks were missing, the ropes were loose, and the river below was rushing against the rocks. Most of the villagers thought the bridge was too dangerous to cross, but Amir often stood by the river and watched the beautiful scenery. One morning, while walking by the river, Amir noticed a small movement among the rocks. It was a small turtle, slowly making its way across the land. The turtle moved very slowly. Sometimes it would slip on the wet stones, sometimes it would stop and rest, but it continued its efforts. The Amir sat next to the little turtle and watched it for a long time. The river was flowing strongly, but the turtle continued to walk steadily and patiently. The Amir realized that long journeys were not always about speed. Sometimes they were about small, brave steps. The next day, the Amir returned to the bridge. Instead of crossing it, he picked up a fallen plank and carefully placed it in a lost spot. The bridge was still unsafe, but it was a small improvement. The next day, he returned again. He picked up another plank and tied a loose rope. The wind was blowing hard and the river below was rushing, but the Amir worked slowly and carefully. The Amir kept walking. Some days were difficult. The heavy rain made the planks slip. Strong winds sometimes caused the planks to fall into the river, and he had to start over. But the Amir remembered the little turtle. Step by step, slowly, the bridge began to change. One morning, while Amir was working, a few villagers stopped to watch him. At first, they were surprised to see such a young boy trying to fix the bridge, but they also saw his determination. Soon, a villager brought a hammer. Another picked up a rope and brought a sturdy piece of wood. They began to work together. The broken bridge gradually became stronger. The loose ropes were fastened, the missing planks were replaced. The old structure once again stood proudly over the flowing river. One bright morning, the bridge was finally ready. The Amir stood at the gate, looking at the high mountain across the river. The villagers gathered behind him, curious and hopeful. Taking a deep breath, he placed his foot on the first plank and began to walk forward. The bridge slowly crumbled beneath his feet, but he held on tightly. Finally, he crossed the bridge. On the other side, a peaceful path led up the mountain through tall trees and bright flowers. The Amir climbed higher and higher until he finally reached the top. There, the Golden Meadow spread out on the mountain like a beautiful painting. Bright flowers covered the hills, and sunlight warmed the entire valley below. From the top, the Amir could see his village, the sparkling river, and the sturdy bridge connecting them. The villagers soon crossed the bridge and climbed the path as well. When they reached the meadow, their eyes were filled with wonder. What had once seemed impossible had become a reality. Near the edge of the meadow, the Amir saw something familiar moving slowly through the grass. It was the same little turtle that was still moving forward peacefully. Amir smiled. The little creature had taught him a lesson that changed everything. Great things are not always built on strength or speed. Sometimes they are built on patience, courage, and the willingness to take one more small step forward. And from that day on, the bridge across the river became known as the Bridge of Brave Steps.